Welcome to The Method, real talk for real people. And this is your announcer, always me, Diva Reed, coming straight at you from St. Andrew United Methodist Church. We got Lil Wayne and Drake with Love Me popping it off right. And like Lil Wayne, as long as his ladies love him, he ain't worried about no haters. And if you're not worried about any haters, let's shake those haters off. And let me hear you make some noise. That's what I'm talking about. What? Shake them haters off. Shake them haters off. This episode of The Method is sponsored by Better Community Development Incorporated, The Business Experts, Denman Hamilton and Associates CPAs, and St. Andrew United Methodist Church, Little Rock. So put your hands together for that Crimson and Cream Diva. Show some love for the original fly girl of talk radio, KB Knox.
Hello, everyone. I am KB Knox, the host of The Method, Real Talk for Real People. And of course, I am so excited to be here today. Now, you know what? This is going to be an interesting show because we're going to talk about shaking these haters off and recognizing haters in our midst. So let me ask you, audience, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been guilty of being a hater? Have you ever held resentment or overly criticized someone before? Okay, I hear one yes, a few nods. Well, if your answer is yes to any part of those questions, chances are you're a hater or you've been one. So that's an issue that our youth face today and deal with in this day and time, but we have someone that has dealt with some haters and has come out on top. And she is here today to give us some advice on how to rise above our haters. But before I introduce our empowerment guest for today, I have some quotes from some famous people about haters. Trying to get everyone to like you is a sign of mediocrity. That's from Colin Powell. When there's so many haters and negative things, I really don't care. Believe it or not, that one comes from yours truly, Kim Kardashian. No matter what happens, you're always going to have those critics and those haters. You just have to learn how to deal with that. I think I have and accept that. That's from Tim Tebow. I'm going to go out into the audience and see what kind of feedback that I can get from the quotes that I just heard. So, who do we have here?
My name's Jesse Dean.
All right, so Jesse, let me ask you this. So, what do you think about that? Have you ever dealt with any type of haters or haterism in your life?
Plenty.
Plenty. So, give me an example.
9th grade year through 11th grade, I dealt with a lot of haters, bullied a lot, and just people giving me a lot of crap.
Just for you being who you are, right?
Yep.
See, a lot of times people think that being different is an issue, it's a problem. So they hate on you, they talk about you and do all sorts of things to make people not like you or even resent you, and all you are doing is being yourself. Which if more people were being themselves in the world today, I think it would go a lot better and things would be a lot smoother. What's your definition of a hater?
Somebody that don't like you.
Okay, basically same thing. Somebody that doesn't like you for whatever reason, or it could be just that a lot of you all are school age, so even if you get good grades, you might have somebody hating on you because you're smarter than they are. Could be prettier than they are. Your hair might even flow a little bit better or shine a little bit more. I don't know. But yeah, basically a hater is somebody that is going to down you and talk about you just because you are quite different from them. All right, so it's time for me to introduce our empowerment guest for today. And you know what? I am so excited about meeting her simply because she has a beautiful first name. Her name is Kristen Lewis, and she's also known around the world as Aida. And as you can hear the music playing softly in the background, I'm sure you're like, oh my God, what is that? Well, guess what I'm going to tell you. Kristen Lewis is listed in the Encyclopedia of Arkansas History and Culture as one of the premier sopranos in Europe. Now, she's the daughter of the Right Reverend Betty Lewis, ordained elder in the Tennessee Conference of the United Methodist Church, and Dr. Raphael Lewis, professor of political science at Philander Smith College. Now, she is a graduate of Lawrenceburg High School in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, where she was a cheerleader and on the track team. Upon graduating from high school, she followed her sister, Reverend Dr. Tamara Lewis, on to the University of Central Arkansas and got a Bachelor's of Arts degree in voice under the direction of Dr. Martha Antolic. Now, she went to graduate school at the University of Tennessee and has a master's in voice performance. She made her opera debut in 2005 in Germany and has been known as a leading lady in opera houses in Italy, Austria, and abroad. Now, her claim to fame is her performance in Aida, and she also does vocal solo performances in Paris, Russia, France, Italy, and various other venues throughout Europe. So you have to stand on your feet, make a lot of noise. Please, audience, help me welcome our esteemed guest. Please put your hands together for the fabulous Miss Kristen Lewis. Hi, Kristen. How are you today?
Hi, Kristen. I'm fine,
I
thank you.
love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into some things because a lot of our audience members are younger. So they don't know necessarily about you. And as they were listening to the opera music, they were looking like, that's not Lil Wayne. Talk to them a little bit, and me as well, and our audience, listening audience, about you. What was it like growing up in Little Rock?
Well, I think I pretty much had a very normal childhood. I grew up in the church. And what was normal for all of the youth in the church was to sing in choir and to be involved in the various youth programs at church, and we all did that. And we all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was not only an outlet of expression, it was also a lot of fun.
What was it like then being a PK?
I don't think that it was any different than each of us in my neighborhood, in my community. Having a family that is deeply religious, I didn't feel any different because I grew up in a community where everyone went to church. Each of our parents was a support system. We all grew up together. So although I am the daughter of a minister, many of my friends were also children of ministers, and we all went to church and worshiped at each other's churches, so it's quite normal.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Since you have been surrounded by professors and also pastors your entire life, have you ever thought about becoming a professor in your craft?
Well, I think that we're all blessed with gifts, and I think the gift of teaching might have passed me by. I do like working with children. I like working with people. I like sharing the gifts that I have. I like to think that I touch lives in other ways, and teaching, specifically teaching, not so much, but that's okay.
Let me ask you about your career and kind of how you even got on that journey. What was that point where you said, this is what I want to do?
To be quite honest, I think when I started graduate school, I wasn't quite sure, and it was almost kind of like a light bulb moment after praying about which direction I should go. And the revelation came through realizing that the constant throughout my life had always been music. I grew up singing in choirs. I grew up taking piano lessons and grew up listening to different genres of music. And so it was just always a constant. And it was actually more of a sigh of relief in realizing that the thing that I was supposed to do was the thing that had always been there.
Now, as an African American woman, how difficult has it been, or was it even at all, for you to say, I'm not going to be an R&B singer, I'm going to do opera?
The short and easy answer is no. Ethnicity never played a role. I did not allow for that to be a barrier, just because it was never even a choice. I don't feel as if I chose opera. I feel as if it chose me, in that once I entered undergraduate school and just as a form of habit joined the concert choir under the director of Mr. John Irwin and began studying voice with Dr. Martha Antolic, we discovered that my voice was best suited for opera, and that was a joy. It was an interesting thing, and I welcomed it. Although I enjoyed singing very much, I didn't strive necessarily to go in one direction more than the other. I just enjoyed singing. It was really kind of exciting to figure out what my voice was best suited for. And I think I was very fortunate to be surrounded by people who nurtured that.
Let's talk a little bit about the places that your voice has taken you. As I was sharing with our listening audience, you have been some of everywhere. What was it like, especially coming from Little Rock and now being in places you possibly never even thought you would even go to? What is that like for you?
I can probably say that it comes from a place of honesty, is the best way to put it. Throughout each step in my journey, I've honestly asked myself, where am I supposed to be? What direction am I supposed to go? And I tried very much not to get ahead of myself. While in graduate school, I was very fortunate to meet the voice teacher that I study with now, who lives in Europe. And after completing my master's degree, I decided initially just to go to Europe to work with this teacher. And this is without knowing which direction this would take me. But I knew that I needed to study, and I wanted to study, and so I gave myself a year to work with this teacher and really immerse myself in what I believed I should be doing with my life, which was pursuing opera. And one opportunity kind of led to the other. A door was opened with each step, taking each step, believing, trusting that this was what I was supposed to do. Because I was only focused on the immediate next step, I wasn't really looking at the bigger picture. And with each new opportunity, I wasn't taking the step back to say, wow, I can't believe I'm about to go, to Italy, or I can't believe I'm about to go to Paris. I was more focused on what I was going to do, the lives I was going to touch, this gift that I had been given. And so it always kind of surprises me when I hear someone else talk about the things I've done, because I never think about it in terms of the big picture. I always think of it in terms of the small steps.
I want to ask you a question about all the work and hard work that went into you getting to where you are now. Our audience today goes from a wide age group, and many of them may not even know what they want to do or where they want to go, and many don't even know about hard work to get to where you need to be. I think I've heard some of you had to learn a lot of different languages also in order to be that opera singer. So what kind of hard work did you have to do, and then what advice would you give to our young audience too that is thinking about taking on whatever type of dream and making it into their own reality?
Well, if I were to speak in terms of advice, it would start with what you're most passionate about. What are you interested in doing? What do you like doing? I think that's where it starts. And if you start there with what you're interested in, then it's about figuring out what is the most realistic goal, immediate goal, based on what I'm interested in that I can achieve, and working towards that. And once you achieve that, deciding, okay, what can I do next? Not being afraid to ask for help from the people around you, and setting a series of small goals.
We do have some more questions, but we have to, of course, pause for the calls and pay some bills. Before we even go into that, I have to ask our listening audience, do you like the method? All right, that's right. Let our listeners know. We'll be back in just a moment. You are listening to The Method, Real Talk for Real People. Like The Method? Then follow us all the time. Like The Method on Facebook, hit us up on Instagram, or follow us on Twitter at The Method Podcast. It's easy. By doing this, you are empowered to ask our empowerment guests questions, give us immediate feedback on the show, gain access to empowerment information, see listings of the music used for the show, and post pictures and shout-outs. We look forward to your posts and tweets. Thanks for supporting The Method, real talk for real people.
This 30-second empowerment moment is brought to you by St. Andrew United Methodist Church. Here are 3 suggestions that you might want to consider if you want to make new friends. It's always good to greet people with a smile. Be respectful and listen. Listen to their story, because everybody has a story. This is Chester Jones, Senior Pastor of St. Andrew United Methodist Church, and we are so glad that better community development is restoring lives and rebuilding communities.
This 30-second empowerment moment is brought to you by the tax experts, Denman, Hamilton and Associates. When it comes to making good financial decisions, it's good to get started on financial empowerment as soon as possible. Start with a budget and stick to it. Try living below your means. Buying things on sale could save you a lot of money. And most importantly, invest your money. Let your money work for you. Make an appointment today with the tax experts. This is KV Knox for the tax experts, Denman, Hamilton and Associates. And we're so glad that Better Community Development is rebuilding communities and restoring lives. Don't forget to like Denman, Hamilton and Associates on Facebook and follow them on Twitter for more tips on financial empowerment.
All right, you are back. And guess what? We're back too. You're listening to The Method, Real Talk for Real People. And today we have our very special guest, Kristen Lewis. She is a renowned opera singer and she is visiting with us today. We're talking about turning your dreams into reality, shaking off the haters, and becoming what you need and indeed want to be. So, Kristen, tell us a little bit just about your career right now. Where is it going, and what new projects do you have coming up?
So my very next project, is going to take place in Venice, Italy. The name of the opera that I'm participating in is called Il Trovatore. It's an opera by an Italian man named Giuseppe Verdi, and it's an opera that I've sung before, but that's normal to repeat operas many times. Been in different cities with different productions, with different conductors and other singers. And following that, I'll be in Tokyo, Japan, doing some concerts with a conductor. His name is Maestro Zubin Mehta. We will be doing the Ninth Symphony of Beethoven. And following that, I'll be in Milan, Italy, at a theater called La Scala, which is pretty exciting. It's one of the top opera houses in the world, and it will be my second time to sing there. So I'm excited.
How difficult is it to break out into opera? You see all these reality TV shows now. I mean, there's so many. There's even one with Ludacris now where the audience can vote for who they want, and it seems so easy to break into the music industry. Is that the same for opera? Is it easy?
Well, I would say that yes, no. I mean, you can't determine where your talents will be, but if they're in singing, then that part, it's easy in that. If you're born with the gifts, then you have them and they're there. But opera requires a lot of studying, a lot of training. It isn't just based on natural talent, but it's ability that is formed over years of study. So in that sense, it requires a lot of dedication. And then there's a series of being in the right place in the right time, a lot of sacrificing and commitment in terms of doing auditions, and you have to have a lot of experience that only comes through participating in productions. So I wouldn't say it's so easy, but it's so worth it if it's something you're called to do.
Because of the refinement of opera, I would think that everyone would be very polite and courteous and everyone is just smiling and talking, but is it a cutthroat industry just like anything else?
Well, people are quite polite on the surface, but it is quite competitive. I mean, because you have to imagine that for every opera production, you might have 8 lead roles. For those roles, you have an unimaginable number of people trying to get those 8 roles, and so it is competitive. But you know, I've always had this way of thinking. My approach to that has always been my only competition is myself, and so I have to strive to be better than I was the time before and not worry so much about whom else may want to sing the roles that I'm singing, but focus on being the best Kristen I can be.
Okay. So, and being the best that you can be, even with, and I say this for our audience, you know, right now they're at an age where they're trying to figure out what they want to do and how to be the best them. So they come in contact a lot with their peers who hate on them, or just because that's not their dream, they may tell them, oh, no, you don't need to do that. Why would you do that? Do this or do something else. So have you ever come in contact with anyone that was ever overly critical, like of your performances, or critiqued you to the point that you even went, now, wait a minute now?
Basically, a lot of what you said is what I've applied. Both things have happened. I think it's inevitable to face criticism, but I think it takes determination and basically the decision to say, you know, this is who I am, this is what I'm supposed to do, and just basically not acknowledge it. I mean, if you allow it into you, then you have to deal with it. If you allow negativity inside of you, you have to deal with it. If you don't allow it inside of you, you don't have to deal with it.
We're going to take another quick break, so make sure that you stay right here to The Method, Real Talk for Real People.
Like The Method? Then follow us all the time. Like The Method on Facebook, hit us up on Instagram, or follow us on Twitter at The Method Podcast. It's easy. By doing this, you are empowered to ask our empowerment guests questions, give us immediate feedback on the show, gain access to empowerment information, see listings of the music used for the show, and post pictures and shout-outs. We look forward to your posts and tweets. Thanks for supporting The Method, Real Talk for Real People.
Being a bully is no laughing matter, and it can affect any student anywhere. If you are a victim of bullying at your school, here's some suggestions on empowerment. Tell your school principal. Let your parents or guardian know. If nothing has been done to your satisfaction, report it to the Anti-Bullying Task Force in your school district or juvenile criminal division. A positive learning experience leads to achieving educational results. This is Deidre Lee of New Horizons Foundation, and we are so glad that Better Community Development is rebuilding communities and restoring lives.
This 30-second empowerment moment is brought to you by St. Andrew United Methodist Church. Here are 3 suggestions that you might want to consider when reaching out to others. You have to care about people no matter who they are, then you go to where they are. And most importantly, you have to have respect. Respecting others is very important. This is Mike Fikes, Mission and Outreach Pastor for St. Andrew United Methodist Church. We are so glad that Better Community Development is rebuilding communities and restoring lives.
All right, we are back again. This is The Method, Real Talk for Real People. And you know today's show has been talking all about those haters, but we have been so excited, and we've been so blessed to have Miss Kristen Lewis with us here. She's come a very long way to talk to us about her life and just how to deal with what our topic is today, haters. So again, Miss Lewis, thank you so much for taking time to come and talk to us today.
My pleasure.
But I'd like to ask you, before we round out our interview today, is there any advice that you would like to leave with our young audience as far as them turning their dreams into reality and getting past the roadblocks that they may encounter in life?
Yes, believe in yourself. Take the gifts that you've been given and push them. Push yourself and push those around you to help you be all that you can be, because it's up to you. If you don't do it, no one else will. And if you don't do it, we all miss out on your talents. So go for it, and don't let anybody stop you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today. Wait a minute, what is, oh my goodness. Well, all right then, well, I guess it's that time. Yeah, you hear the music? I know what that means. That means that it's tea time with Hildegard Van Glory. Hello, Hildegard. Am I late for tea?
No, darling, you're not late. You're on time. Do you want me to pour you a cup?
Yes, I do. And this time, could you put some milk in my tea? This time with 4 lumps of sugar, please.
Oh, are you having a bad day, dear? You're taking your tea stronger than usual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good right now, but we've been talking about dealing with haters on the show, and, you know, Kristen Lewis.
Yes, the star of Aida?
Yes. So she's been helping us to develop coping mechanisms on how to deal with haters.
Wonderful, darling. Ugh, don't turn around. I said don't turn around.
What do you mean?
Here comes Arch Bowfunkel.
I thought that was your friend, though.
His breath smells as bad as his name. Just dreadful.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's
really?
coming over here. He was rude to the Duchess of Vienna.
Ooh, what are you talking about?
The Dogwood Princess of Lewis.
Art goes around insulting royalty? Now, that's really not cool.
No, it's not. He's a sycophantic miscreant, dear. Ah, here he comes. Arch, why are you sitting close to me? I can feel your werewolf breath crawling over my skin.
What?
You heard me, dragon breath. Did I stutter?
What?
Your breath smells like it's been tainted with cow dung.
What? Did you just say that my breath smells like doo-doo? You know that my breath don't stink. What's wrong with you?
You're what's wrong with me, Arj.
Are you mad because I beat you in cards last night? Or are you mad because I won't go out on a date with you? There's no way that's gonna happen. You're older than my great-grandma.
Look here, Arj. I am the Duchess of Vienna, the dog-widow Princess of Lewis. Nobody refuses a dinner invitation from me. You've spoiled my tea. I'm leaving.
No, you've spoiled my tea.
You must be thick. You weren't even invited to tea with us, you pimpled-faced orangutan.
Crypt keeper.
Nematode.
Did you just call me a worm?
I called you what you are.
Okay, look, you two, that is enough. I am leaving, okay? You know, people can be haters on your job, at school, even at church. I mean, either way it goes, we are seeing that the best way to stay away from the drama is not to entertain the drama in the first place. That's something that we all have to remember because there are haters everywhere. Now, Cat Williams said it best. Haters do their job well, and if you got it going on, then understand the haters will follow. But you don't have to sink to their level. You always rise above. This has truly been an awesome episode of The Method, and we made it through our first season. And we are very excited about what is to come for season 2. I have learned so much hosting and also working on the show for this first season. I want to personally thank everyone for their support. Being with you all has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait until the next season. Thanks a lot for being with us. Thanks a lot for learning the method to many different things, and we will see you in season 2. Dee Marie, take it away.
Listening to The Method on how to shake those haters off. This episode of The Method was sponsored by Better Community Development Incorporated, restoring lives, rebuilding communities. Denman Hamilton and Associates CPAs, make an appointment with the business experts today. And St. Andrew United Methodist Church, Little Rock, where we are people helping people. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Method 3. And if you want to hear previous episodes of The Method, just hit us up on YouTube. But you can catch us on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on 88.3 Community Radio. Executive producer and host, Kristen VZ Knox. Produced by Deborah Bell. Executive Director for Better Community Development Incorporated, William Robinson Jr. Technical Director, Doug Pierce, and technical support provided by St. Andrew United Methodist Church. The Method is written and created by Dina Hamilton. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, we must be the change we wish to see in the world. This is your announcer, always me, Dee Marie, thanking you for your support and being down with The Method. The Method Real Talk for Real People is an Opportunity Knox production.